Okay, try getting in.
You said Facebook.
Oh, yep.
I went to Facebook. There's nothing there.
Are you in the group? Or are you on Facebook?
There it goes. It's just now coming. There you go. And there's live chat. All right, I got you.
Okay. So,
Now I can hang up.
sorry, y'all. It's been crazy. And give it a like if you're new. Please.
So I can't.
Okay. Are we ready? So, starting over from day one. Before we get into the fun stuff today, I want to remind you to click that like button. Tell me what parasite you're hoping to learn about today, and find out if I cover it. Also, remember that if you're not clicking that like button, you're doing something wrong. Now, let's get into today's topic. We are going to be looking at internal, meaning a parasite that lives in the body, or external parasites that get their nutrients by eating us. Sounds fun, huh? Well, the first step that we're going to look at are the worms. I am not going to be blunt. I'm going to use terms that may be a little bit gross. I do not apologize for using them. That's just the way things are going to be. We're going to be looking at the worms first, or at least a few worms. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the Ascaris worm. I apologize. I did not go back and trace these with black ink. So if they don't show up too well, I apologize. So these are the adult worms. If you were in biology, you may have dissected these. This is a sneak peek into somebody's intestines that has a really bad infection. About 1.2 billion people have those worms. How do you get these worms? You get them by eating basically the eggs. Now, what makes it a little bit grosser is the eggs come out via poop. Animals and people. And you can catch it by having dirty hands and not washing before dinner, or by not cleaning fruit, or not peeling them, or not cooking pork properly. Symptoms of this. Oh, before I get into that, I just want to say that just because you have symptoms of having some of these parasites, it doesn't mean that you do. So don't get scared or worried. You may experience abdominal pain or discomfort. Remember that sneak peek I gave you of the intestinal with the heavy infection? Well, those heavy infections can cause intestinal blockage. Can it be treated? The good news is yes, it can be treated. Fun fact, the eggs can last in the soil for as long as 10 years, and they can survive the cold, freezing, and even extreme heat. And once they're in the environment, it is highly unlikely that you're ever going to remove them. The next one is the liver fluke. And it looks it's a flatworm, not a nematode like we just got done looking at. You can get this worm by eating raw watercress that has not been cleaned, or other water plants that have not been cleaned properly. You can also get it by drinking water that has the larva form in it. Symptoms of this infection, sadly, this infection can be an invisible infection, so you can have this and not even know it. These worms do migrate from the abdominal cavity into the liver, and it's during this process of going from the abdominal cavity into the liver that people may experience issues. This usually occurs within the first week of exposure. Now, people with this parasite may experience an enlarged liver, blockage of the bile ducts, abdominal pain, and if you have tests to measure liver stuff, those tests may come up with strange results. Can you treat it? Yes, you can. Fun fact, domestic cows and other ruminants also carry this organism, and snails can also be an intermediate host. So the next one are blood flukes. And that's what they look like. They're sort of long and skinny. They have some suckers, so it look like suckers, a little thing that comes up. And these guys are pretty small, and they live, well, let's not get there. These guys live in snails, and mostly these snails do not live in the U.S. They can, however, you can simply be infected by this by coming into contact with water that is contaminated with the larval stage. Symptoms of this infection: fevers, chills, cough, muscle aches, which appear 1 to 2 months into the infection. You're not going to experience symptoms before that. Stages of this parasite setting, and this is because the parasite is setting up home within you. Eggs will travel to the intestines and other organs, and the damage that is done is actually caused by the eggs. Adult worms live in the blood vessels, and that's why they call them bloodworms or blood flukes. And the eggs are passed via urine and our poop. The next one is a whipworm, and it looks like one of these, except that it has a whip on the end of it. You get this, again, by not washing your hands and by not properly washing fruits and vegetables or improperly peeling them. Symptoms. This is another parasite where if you just have a light infection, you're not going to know it. But if you have a heavy infection, that's a different story. You're going to have frequent and painful bowel movements. Multiple trips to the bathroom are going to be accompanied by blood, water, and mucus. And this is gross, I'm going to say it, but it's gross, you may also experience a rectal prolapse. And this is where the rectum literally pops out of your anus. There is treatment for both, by the way. The next one is a fun one. This is Anyway, it's a follicle mite. Now, this is different than scabies in that this actually lives on your face. It lives in your eyelids. on your nose, on your face. These guys, for the most part, do not cause a problem. And they are actually, to an extent, possibly symbiotic. However, you catch this particular parasite by coming into contact with other people. Babies probably pick this up from their mom. Also, a little bit gross. These guys can live in your pillowcase and other parts of your bed. You may feel them moving periodically, about the same time every day. How you may know that you have an overinfection might be dryness. You may also have a patch of whiteheads that's sort of small. It'll look like a pimple. And these will pop up around your eyes and your nose. And there is treatment. Fun fact, almost everybody has them. Hookworm. I need to use a different paper when I do this. So that's the hookworm. They actually have little hooks. These guys, you pick them up by actually walking barefoot on soil that has them in it, or by ingesting the larva. You may or may not know it if you have them. You might experience some gastrointestinal symptoms. Serious infections actually come with anemia due to blood loss. Is there treatment? Yes. Again, this is gross, and I apologize, but do not use human feces as a fertilizer for plants. No bueno. Not good. It is not healthy to use it for this because of possible parasites and other health issues. Next is tapeworm. And tapeworm you can get from eating uncooked meat, such as beef or pork, and you can also get it from eating undercooked fish or even raw fish. And again, this includes beef or pork. Signs of infection for this: abdominal pain, loss of appetite, weight loss, upset stomach. You may also pass the proglottids. The proglottids are the individual segments, and each one of those segments contains eggs as well as sexual organs. Fun fact, beef tapeworm can grow up to 32 feet in length, and at one time it was a fad to encapsulate the proglottids into a pill. You would take that, the gelatin, whatever, would disintegrate in the stomach, and you would contract a tapeworm that would keep you thin. Not a good idea. The next one is the Lola worm. These are eyes and a nose. And yes, this worm can actually get into your eyes. You get this particular parasite by getting bit by what are called mango flies or mangrove flies, and it is a type of deer fly that lives in Africa. Travelers who visit to tropical Africa are at risk for picking up this parasite. People with this parasite will grow calabar swellings. You may have river blindness or elephantitis. And elephantitis is where the lymph nodes, the little canals that go back and forth, actually become blocked and the fluid leaks. These symptoms occur, these swellings that I talked about will occur near joints. You may have eye worms, which is what this is, And doctors can go in and they can remove these without too much problem, but the treatment is actually semi-dangerous. So you might even see the worms in your skin as they migrate. You will experience itching, muscle pain, joint pain, fatigue. Again, treatment is possible, but it is dangerous. There are some inherent dangers involved. Doctors can look at you based on test and figure out if it is safe for you to be treated. The best way to avoid this parasite is to avoid fires. So when you're there, don't go to bonfires. Wear long pants and long sleeved shirts. That is important. Even though it may be 95 degrees that day, don't wear short sleeve shirts. These guys are out during the day. It is best to avoid getting bit by them. Just want to say again that just because you have some of these symptoms does not mean that you have a parasite. Don't freak out. This is Giardia. I hope I pronounced that right. It is sort of tear-shaped and has flagella or little hairs that come off the sides. There are 4 of those. How do you get this parasite? Well, you drink water that is not clean. Having close contact with someone who has the parasite can actually give it to you. Touching objects that someone with the infection has touched via their dirty hands. Or if you come into contact with somebody that has the bug or the infection, but also may have soiled themselves. And so you come into contact with the feces. In fact, signs of this infection are diarrhea, gas, foul-smelling and greasy poop that floats. Sorry for being gross. Stomach cramps or pain, upset stomach or nausea. You may also experience other symptoms as well that we are not getting into. There are people out there who have no symptoms. This is why you don't drink river water. Can you be treated? Yes, you can. The next one I want to talk about is the guinea worm. And there is no treatment. So once you get this, you have it until the worm comes out. And so this is a lesion. This will be a blister. The blister will pop. Out comes the worm. And you have to literally slowly work its way out. Not fun. So you get this by actually ingesting the parasite that holds, or the invertebrate that lives. You get this by ingesting the organism that has this particular parasite in it. You can also get it by eating uncooked fish or frogs that have eaten this parasite. This worm is not native to the United States. It is native to Africa. You may go an entire year without having symptoms. Sometimes within hours or a few days before the worm pops out of your leg, the person will have fever, swelling, and pains in the area around the lesion. I need to stress that the worm can pop out of any part of your body, but usually it's the legs. You may also develop a secondary infection because of the wound created by the worm. Is there a excuse me? Is there a treatment? No, there is no treatment. You either have to the doctors will give you a anti-inflammatory to work with the swelling, or as well as antibiotics to keep you from getting infections. And in case you're wondering, animals can pick this up too. Body lice. How do you pick this parasite up? Well, the eggs are actually laid on clothing. A lot of times you'll find them in the seams. And you can pick this up by coming in contact with the clothes, bed sheets, towels that the person may be using. Symptoms are going to include itchiness. Treatment is possible. You will need to wash the clothing, the bed sheets, and towels in really hot water at temperatures of at least 130 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't, you're not going to kill the eggs, and you will come down with it again. And when you dry the clothing, the bed sheets, whatever, have it on the highest setting. That's going to kill whatever might be on that. This parasite can pass some big diseases such as typhus. This was a parasite during World War I that the soldiers would spread amongst themselves, and some of them came down with typhus. So this is a disease that can easily become an epidemic. Head lice. We all at some point probably have had it, or our kids have had it. They cannot jump, they cannot fly. You have to get it by literally coming in contact with a person's head. Sharing clothes such as hats, scarves, or coats. Sharing combs, brushes, or towels. And I can't stress this enough. Head lice is not a sign of lack of hygiene or uncleanliness in the home or at school. And that goes the same thing for the body lice. Signs of infection are going to be possibly, and right now I am feeling it because subconsciously my brain is just going with it. You may feel the bugs moving in your hair, itching, problems sleeping because these bugs are active. I shouldn't say bugs, but I think they are bugs. And not all insects are bugs, by the way. And these guys are active at night. And unlike body lice, they do not cause disease. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow members of my channel, I am not covering crabs or pubic lice in this episode because we are adults mostly. That's in this, I'm not covering that particular parasite in this video. Because I think you can put two and two together and figure out how you can track that particular parasite. Bed bugs. Again, just because you see a bed bug in your house doesn't mean you have a dirty house. But let's talk a little bit more about it. These can be found in a whole lot of areas. Another way, so when you go visiting places, you can pick them up in your luggage and bring them home with you or wherever you're going. They do not fly, but they can climb walls. They require a blood drink before they go through any sort of a molt. The female can lay up to 100 eggs. Now, there is no evidence that this animal passes any type of disease on. There is a smell associated with these parasites, and that is a sweet, musty odor. I've also heard it sort of smells like raspberries. I don't know. And they can hide anywhere. They can be underneath the mattress. They can be in the headboards. Anywhere that they can fit. And they are pretty small. The bites may take up to 2 weeks to really develop. And these bites can lead to insomnia, anxiety, and skin problems. So, and they are pretty hard to get rid of from what I have heard. That is what body lice looks like. They're sort of flat. They have sort of crab-like front legs, but they don't have pinchers. They will have in the middle of the abdomen a black line. That black line is their blood. Oh, this is for head lice, by the way. So head lice, yeah, will have that black stripe down the middle. That's blood. And the eggs are like a little small grain of rice that is attached to the hair. Body lice looks a little bit different. Bed bugs. Sorry, I forgot. Bed bugs, once you've seen one, you'll never forget it. The bites will be red eventually with a little dot in the middle where the animal has been stabbing you. Oh, I messed up. So, ticks. So, ticks are nasty. I have covered ticks in a separate video. I'm not going to really cover them. If you want, after this video, go in and search for that video. I don't think I can do it from here. Let me try. I don't know if I want to. But it is possible to contract them that way. I don't know if I can. I'm not going to try because I don't have a moderator and I don't know how to do it. Let me see if I can. I forgot to do my poll. And guys, if you're coming to this later, answer the poll question if you see it in the comments. Anyway, there are around 850 different species of ticks across this wonderful world of ours, and over 90 or more in the United States. I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but those are, if you're interested in the diseases that they carry here in the United States, send me your email address and I will send you a copy of the wonderful diseases that ticks carry and which species you will find associated with these ticks. So next up, we have botflies. Now, if your stomach can handle it, type into YouTube when you're done with this video, go in and look at botfly removal. All I'm going to say. So, botflies tend to be a little bit bigger than most of the parasites that we're talking about today. So basically, there are a couple different ways you can get a botfly. One is to have a mosquito land on you, and they will land on you, bite you, and as they're biting you, the heat from your body actually melts the glue that the female botfly glues her eggs with to the mosquito. That egg will land on you, and it should be skin. Oh, nuts. Okay. Huh. Uh-oh. Okay. The egg will hatch, and eventually it will crawl into your skin and begin to develop. Now, this animal has little barbs that are attached to it, and those help the maggot stay in your skin or in its hole, and it will literally eat while it's in there. Another way in Africa, when people will put out their clothing on the line, the adult will come up, lay their eggs on clothing or bed sheets that are hung out, and when you put them on, the heat from your body causes the egg to hatch and in crawls the worm. So, the good news is there is treatment. Okay? There is treatment for this. The good news is this cannot spread into your body. So, if I am in South America with my friends and I end up with a maggot in me, you cannot pick that up from me. So that's the good news about this. Are there questions? Hi, I don't know who just joined us, but welcome, welcome, welcome. I saw that. They left, we're cursed, but they liked it, so maybe somebody else will come in. Any questions about any parasite? Would you like to see more on a particular parasite? And it's cool if not. You know, I think we need to not like point out that somebody else is in. What do you think? Let me see if or what the next live is about. I should have a list. So the next live is going to be Danger Box. Just a little bit about Danger Box. Oops, I need to say. Danger Box is stuff that is in my collection. It's stuff that can cause you physical harm. That is the next live for sure. And that will be Tuesday at noon. And it'll be fun because there's lots of different objects. And instead of having a script, I'll just be running my mouth. So I'm good at that. Ask Carol that's in chat. She'll tell you. What else do I need to do? We're only 37 minutes in. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Danger Box and more. So that more could be a live chat or an excuse for you to ask me questions that we don't normally talk about in the channel. Yeah. I don't know why more people don't stay, but yeah. So that is something definitely, it's something different, something that we can get into and talk about. I have done this before. It's my favorite thing to do, pretty much, because it's live and I don't need to have a script for it. But we have a half hour to go, basically. So we need to fill time. Whoa, what the heck? How did that just change? Did you see that? Did the last poll just change? Oh, that's why. So yeah, we have some time. Do we want to turn this into a Q&A? It is. I will accept questions for the time being. I don't want to get into that now because, or I don't want to get into the other section, the Q and the danger box stuff. Although we are done, if you're coming in and you're new, we discuss parasites. So if you have questions on animals that are parasites, let me know and I will do my best to answer them. Carol, any questions over what we've talked about? And don't be afraid to participate in chat if you have it. That is for next week. I mean, the Q&A should be about, yeah, Q&A about the box, but not now. We'll do that Tuesday at noon. So just a Q&A about the parasites, or if you're new to this, you can ask me questions about me. And if I decide to answer them, hi, welcome to chat and live. I don't remember seeing you before Space Sphere Gaming. So hi. We had been discussing parasites. We discussed such wonderful parasites as guinea worms, head lice. We discussed body lice and lots of other parasites that the human body can contract. So that's what we talked about today. My channel is all about nature, many different fronts. And I promise you next Tuesday at noon will be a Q&A a Q&A slash live that is different than anything I have done in the last couple weeks. It will be sort of combined with a live chat. My lives are Fridays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and noon Central Standard Time. So, Space Sphere Gaming, I don't know if you're a kid or not. But if you're a teen or younger, you don't have to give me your age. Not important. But where is everybody from? Let's do that. I am from Northwest Indiana. I'm not going to say the exact area, but that's where I live. For now. That could change at any moment. So the parasite that I think out of everything that we talked about, probably my favorite is the botfly 2 because it's kind of gross. It's like having a maggot that is inside of you. I have heard stories of people getting them like around the ear and stuff, and they could actually hear it eating, which is kind of gross. But a lot of the ways that I've seen people do it themselves, as far as removing them, is duct tape. They just duct tape it across the hole and then just yank. And that's got to be bleh. Again, though, if you really want to see that, look it up online. Pinworms are basically roundworms. They're related to the Ascaris, I believe. I cover a whole lot of things. In my chats that I can't keep in my head. So this infection is pretty common. Kids will get it. People can get it. It's common in people that are in prisons. Basically, you get it. They will they make your backside itch, so you reach down and you scratch. Maybe you don't have you come into contact with the eggs and you don't wash your hands really well, and yeah, in goes mouth sort of thing. And symptoms for this are caused, basically, you're going to have itchiness around the anus, um, as well as some problems. You might have problems sleeping. Usually, symptoms are mild. It is treatable. That's the good news. And basically, it is spread through either clothing, bedding, basically. So you typically are not going to spread this through being in a pool. No, if your child has this, they cannot pass it to a pet. Not going to happen. Basically, the way that they test is they take a piece of tape. They're going to do it down there. The eggs stick to the tape. They put the tape on a microscope slide and they look and see what's there. Yes, that is the name for it. And it is pretty gross. But it's not uncommon. Not at all. Ringworm is a parasite, but it is not a worm. And a lot of people think this, but it's not. It is actually a fungus that people can catch. It's like jock itch, sort of. And of course, it is treatable. And it is also contagious. So yes, it is a parasite because it lives on your body and it gains nutrients from your body. It is treatable. So that's the good news. Head and Shoulders should take care of it. But yes, it is a parasite. It's just not an actual animal. So good question. I like that. So yeah, jock itch, ringworm, what toenail fungus. It's all parasites. It's just a different form of parasite. And it's all treatable. That's the good news. It's so quiet. We need more people. I'm hoping we will have lots of people for next week. I'm hoping. Maybe I should post the next live to YouTube or to Facebook now. Ouch. Not cool. Up here, the good news is that we don't have hookworm, but down south, that's another reason not to wear or not to go barefoot in your backyard, because you could pick up you could pick that up. You could pick up hookworm and whatever else might be in the soil. So don't go barefoot. I try not to go barefoot even in my house, just because. I hope you guys can't hear that. My stomach's rumbling. I don't know how to. There's a lot of things I don't know yet about this stuff. So yeah. I will start doing videos. I am recording videos tomorrow, because tonight, after this, I'm going to have dinner, and then I'm going to relax. I'm tired. I talk too much. Any other questions? Because we are down to our last little bit. We are down to just 8 minutes. Maybe I should call it quits and just go eat. I actually, did I put them away? Yes, I did. So these are roundworms related to Ascaris. And I learned something today, guys. Heartworm. I read where people can contract heartworm. I didn't know that, but supposedly it's a thing according to the CDC. Very interesting. Did not even know that. I thought it was just a dog thing. Yeah, that might be it. I don't even know what I'm having. I should cook, but I don't know what. So that's always an issue. Okay, guys. I am not waiting the hour. I need to eat. I have been working on Planet Zoo. I have my new hippo enclosure set up. I have to finish it because it's just fenced in with the water in it. I need to actually get a hippo in it and check the enclosure. But does anybody else? Hey, if you play Zoo, Planet Zoo, let me know in the chat or in the comments. Let me know. Carol, I know you don't, but that's okay. We do have some really cool things coming up. My problem is I don't know how to get to them. Yes. In fact, the amount needed to kill a dog can vary. But cats only need one worm, from what I've heard. I used to have a tapeworm in my collection. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to see if I can do something real quick. Oh, I can't do it. Can you still see me? I hope. Coming up this week for videos, I will film and post Saturday's video and edit, and Sunday's video and edit for tomorrow. I will not do the okay, so coming up next week, we are talking about temperate rainforest, geysers, we are also going to be doing milkweed as an edible medicinal, blue bush as a species, blue bush as an edible medicinal. We will be talking about the dodo as an extinct species, as well as rock doves. So those are the videos for next week. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that is all for today. I will see you in the next video, and also on Tuesday's live, which is at noon Central Standard Time, and we are doing Danger Box. Something you can look forward to seeing and learning about is this. So yeah, that is something you can stay to learn about, as well as maybe a few extra things like that. Learn about what that is. So, with that sort of an advertisement, I am ending today's live. I will see you next time, whatever that is. Goodbye. Love y'all. Goodbye.